Hello everyone, Simon here. Welcome back to the architecture of Hitman World of Assassination. We're in Berlin. In Berlin we have a nightclub inside a decommissioned coal-fired power plant. Right, so we have a dance club inside the power plant. Or maybe I should say, welcome to Germany, dance party, yeah. This is gonna be a fun level, right? What do we have? Smokestacks, we have the buildings, and then we have cooling towers. We're also surrounded by pine trees. We appear to be in a rural area quite far away from the city. That's a little bit strange, having a nightclub all the way out here. Usually people kind of want to be in the city for this sort of thing. Alright, so if the idea of a nightclub inside a decommissioned power plant sounds familiar to you, that's because such a thing did exist. Not in Berlin, but in Munich. So, Das Heinz Kraftwerk was famously an EDM club inside an old power plant. Unfortunately, it's been shut down. Apparently it was too loud. I mean, it was very popular. There were very famous DJs playing there regularly. And I guess it got too loud for the city. But for a while there, everything was very cool. So a note about EDM, electronic dance music, inside old industrial buildings. So aside from the industrial aesthetic being very complimentary for the industrial music, right? You're inside like a factory listening to EDM. So that's very cool, but aside from that, power plants are kind of heavy, although they have a lot of heavy equipment, so they have a lot of concrete structures. And concrete being heavy and hard, it reflects sound really well. So when you play EDM inside a concrete box, like it really uh like the booming reverberation kind of accentuates the style of music that you're playing there, right? It's like the loud booming sounds inside the echoing box. So that's a lot of fun. So like acoustically and aesthetically, the old power plant actually suits EDM music really well. So that's pretty smart. Berlin also has a Kraftwerk venue, but it's not a dedicated EDM club. So Kraftwerk Berlin is a multi-purpose exhibition space. So it's just a big space. Sometimes they have like art exhibitions, sometimes they have concerts. Oh, there you go, there's a concert playing, what is that, classical music? And then they can do dance clubs, they can do like raves. But all sorts of things happen here. Oh, there you go, is it a rave? Not bad. Alright, and then you have like a proper concert. And then you have like art exhibits. So that's Kraftwerk Berlin, not an EDM club full-time, but sometimes. So what are we looking at? Germany. There's Germany. There's Berlin. And Kraftwerk Berlin, if you're wondering, is actually in the middle of the city. Around about... trying to remember it is... there? Right there, Kraftwerk Berlin. Not that impressive from the street during the day, right? So that because it's an industrial site, it's kind of hidden behind trees because it's not that attractive. So Berlin being sensitive people, they hide their big industrial buildings inside behind trees, even though it is pretty much in the middle of the city. So this used to be an old combined heating and power plant. And basically it's just a big box. Just a big concrete box. Behind the trees there. Like architecturally completely unremarkable, right? You know how these industrial buildings are. They're not there for the aesthetics, they're just there for the function. Big lights at the top. Natural lighting on the inside. But otherwise just a big ass box. It's just not very impressive. But in the game, remember that we are not in the city. So this is definitely inside the city. Pretty close to the city center. We are somewhere in a rural area, and I have no idea where we're meant to be. I'm not even sure if the game designers know exactly where we are. We're just like in the forest somewhere. So there are power plants in Germany, of course there are. There are old coal-fired power plants, in fact. I found a couple of them, just so we can take a look at what a real power plant looks like. So here's one. Bergkamen Power Station. Looks like that. So, like the game, we have cooling tower, we have smokestack, and then we have a building, right? And then here's another power plant. I've picked ones that are more similar to the one in game. There are other power plants with basically more generating units, more cooling towers. But you know, this is kind of like the one in the game, right? We have like 2 cooling towers, we have smokestack, we have the, these are the boilers, and then the generators are down here, I think. Turbines. I'm not too sure like what's going on there. I think... Are those the generators? No, are those the generators? I'm not sure. Anyway, turbines and generators down here somewhere. And kind of out in the countryside, right? So, in order for us to understand what all these buildings mean, we do kind of need to understand how coal-fired power stations work, right? So, this one's a big one, look at that. There's a lot of boilers there. Oh, look at all of those. This is a huge one. So, a schematic of a coal-fired power plant. Smokestack, right? We have a boiler here. So here the coal comes in, gets crushed, and then gets burned. You burn the coal, generated heat. These pipes bring in water, and the water boils into steam, right? And then the steam gets pushed into these turbines. So they've got 3 turbines here. You don't have to have 3 turbines. But in this example, they have 3 turbines. You have a high pressure, a high temperature, medium temperature, and low temperature turbines. So 3 turbines making use of 3 different grades of heat. And those drive the generator, which then generates the electricity, and you distribute that, right? The steam gets recondensed into water. The heat from the recondensing gets dispersed in the cooling tower. So this takes water. The water, you spray the water, and you let the water cool down. The heat gets evaporated out, and you collect the extra water, bring it back in. So the cooling cycle is different from the steam cycle. The water for the steam comes in, back through, pump through here, back into the boiler, heats up again, right? And then the gas, the exhaust gas from the combustion comes through 25, that's a precipitator. I think there's like filters there as well. Or maybe and then you pump the air out the smokestack to get rid of the waste gas, right? So coal comes in, boiler, generates steam into the turbines, turbines drive the generator, the heat goes out there, the smoke goes out there, and that's your coal-fired power plant, right? And so now if you come back and look at these again, right? So you have the heat coming out here. I guess the generators would be here, and the turbines will be somewhere down here. The boiler is here, generating the steam, and then the exhaust gas from the boilers come out here. Oh, cool. So now we can understand the shape of these buildings. And remember that the boiler is vertical, so this is tall, right? Whereas these are horizontal, so these are lower. So if we look at this, so this tall thing, that would be the boiler, I guess. We have the smokestack, we have the cooling tower. I think this ramp is where the coal goes in, I think. And then down here would be the generators and turbines. Not really sure how they're placed, but they'll be down here somewhere. So that's the typical coal-fired power plant design. And so, with that knowledge in mind, smokestacks, cooling towers, and with the main building here, right? And you will notice that we have like a taller bit and a lower bit. So in theory, we might speculate that we have like a boiler there. And then maybe the turbines and generators down here. Maybe. Maybe. And then we have another building back there. That might be where the coal comes in. Maybe. I'm not sure like how accurately they stuck to the power plant design in the video game level. But it looks almost believable, right? Looks kinda right. Okay. So, let's go take a walk around and see how this building works as a coal-fired power plant, for one, and secondly, how it works as an EDM club. So remember there's these two things at the same time. Okay, so before we go inside, we're gonna go walk around the outside. Let's go walk around the outside, clockwise, starting this way. So first of all, with the cooling tower, I'm not sure if these are the right size. These might be a little smaller than they would be in real life.
Hello there.
So, but the bottom of the cooling tower is open because the air gets sucked in the bottom, and it kind of, as the air heats, it rises, and it kind of pulls the air upwards. The heat pulls the air upwards out the top, and so then you're kind of circulating the air to create the ventilation, right? And then inside here, the hot water, I think, would come in the middle and get sprayed down the sides. And you can see how there's like a pool of water at the bottom there. So the water gets sprayed down, and the air coming through will cool down the air. It'll pull out any steam and evaporate the steam, and the evaporation will cool down the water. And any water that doesn't escape as steam, you would collect down below and recycle into the cooling system, right? So that's how the cooling tower works. Awesome, good to see that in the game. Coming around this way, we have some water tanks. These might be part of the cooling system. We don't see any pipes though. I mean, the pipes could be underground. But often in industrial facilities, you would just have the pipes above ground because it's easier to fix, easier to maintain, easier to fix if you can just access the whole pipe, right? In the game, we don't have the pipes above ground. The building itself is very ordinary. It's just like a big box. Big box. I guess there's like concrete columns and then concrete walls filling in between. Really unremarkable. It's just industrial building. Just like the real world industrial buildings, there's no architectural merit. Just a big ass concrete box. We have these things. So this is a little odd. Usually when you see materials stacked up, it's because you're building something. But here we're not building something. If anything, we are dismantling the machinery from inside the power plant. So not sure why you would like have materials stacked up. Like it looks industrial, yes, but usually when you have building materials piled up, it's because you're going to use them to build something. So piling stuff up like this, not sure this makes any sense. Because if it's valuable, it costs money to make this stuff. And if you're not going to use it, then you would sell it, right? Because somebody else could use it. These pipes. Like if the pipe was broken, then okay, you would leave it lying around because it's worthless. You see what I mean? Anyway, that's a small issue. So behind here, again we have a crane, and I don't know what they're building. Are they building something here? Why would they be building something here? You might be demolishing things here. Like the crane is worth money. If you don't need the crane, you would dismantle the crane and just move it somewhere else and use it somewhere else. So a little strange there. So I think this is the main building of the power plant, right? And I think this is supposed to be where you store the coal. I'm not 100% sure. It seems a little big. But maybe it's just video game scaling. When we look inside later on, maybe it'll make more sense. And maybe it'll be more plausible. Like, is that where you bring the coal across into the power plant? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. So we can't get all the way back there, it's outside the game level. We have to come through here. And we'll talk about this stuff later on. This is like this part here. Oh, let me just skirt around the edge. Behind everything. So, we'll come back to this later on. Coming to the other side of the map, we have water channels and pipes going into the water. So a power plant like this would often draw water from nearby rivers for cooling purposes. Not sure why it's so polluted though, because the cooling cycle itself doesn't cause any pollution, it's just heat, right? Unless there's some sort of industrial accident, you spill something in the river, then it'll be polluted. But like a power plant, if you don't spill the ash or anything crazy like that, it shouldn't cause any pollution. So not sure what happened here, but it's kind of gross. But I think these pipes are supposed to be drawing water out for cooling, and maybe also for other purposes. Back there we have smokestacks. It's curious that they chose to use brick for the smokestacks. So brick smokestacks are like old, man, like old industrial revolution smokestacks before they had like a big concrete. A little strange. I don't think you would use brick smokestacks more recently. And like that building, like the main building is not brick, the main building is concrete. So it's a little bit incongruous that this is brick. I mean, it's not like you can't do it. It seems a little incongruous. Could be like an old smokestack that they've reused for the power plant. Would you do that? I'm not sure you would. Or maybe you would. In any case, the building continues to be unremarkable from the outside. Alright, coming through here, we have to go through this building. And then out of this side we have a bunch of abandoned containers, I guess. Again, containers are worth money. You can use them somewhere else. Why would you leave containers lying around? Unless the container's rusted and broken, but they're not broken. Like, they're fine. Why would you leave them lying around? And this is construction material. If you're not gonna build something with the construction material, why do you just have it lying around? It's worth money. I think the level designers just put random industrial stuff here and didn't really think about it. Like this steel, this reinforcing steel, this is worth money. Just leaving piles of money lying around for no reason. So I don't know what these things are. I have no idea what these things are. These are like brick, conical brick shapes sitting in the water. I don't know what these are. Vaguely industrial looking things. Anyway, coming back around. Interesting that the containers are behind the trees. How'd you get these things inside amongst the trees like this? Wait a minute. Have these been here for like multiple decades and the trees have grown up amongst... Because how did you get these in between the trees? How do you get this big ass concrete pipe in between the trees? They don't look like they've been here for a long time. Yeah, this is a bit strange. Let's not worry about it too much. Alright, back out here, and we're back at the front of the club. Back at the front door. So architecturally unremarkable, the graffiti is kind of interesting, right? The art's kind of interesting. But otherwise it's just big concrete boxes. Let's go inside.
Hey. If you ever need another guy on your team...
Inside we have a bit of a reception.
Oh, the mall cops are here.
And then back here, there's a cloakroom there, but before I go there, there's a bit of a staff area here. What's this again? I forgot. Nothing, just like storage. Alright, storage. Let's go in here. A cloakroom.
Better not steal it for themselves. Very attached to that jacket.
And then back here, there's like a staff wardrobe area. I guess the staff do have uniforms. They're all wearing the same outfits. With like balaclavas. It's kind of weird actually. Why do they look like that? Anyway, the staff do have uniforms. And then we get into the interior of the main building. So the power plant is basically like big open concrete spaces because you have like ginormous machinery inside. And so it's just like a big concrete shell around big machinery, right? So we have a lighted path showing you the way to the main dance floor. We won't go down there yet. I think this hallway is a little too wide. This seems like wasted space. I don't know what machinery would go in here. Maybe this should be narrower. The club has installed these little bits and pieces. They are fluorescent light tubes, I guess. Not sure how these are powered though, there's no wires. Fluorescent light tubes. Put into cubes. So the great thing about this sort of decoration is it's kind of like cheap and light. Like it doesn't they light up the space, but they have a very small footprint, right? You can dismantle them and they pack down into a very small size. So it's great to decorate a big space without a lot of investment. So up here with a bigger wide corridor, I still think this is too wide, but here, highlighted by this portal, come out to a bar. So now we're outside the power plant again. Here we have sort of an outdoor bar. You'll notice that this is like pallets, wooden pallets. So there's like a temporary bar structure, like the table there's just pallets piled up. Temporary bar structure, alcohol, people. And then out this way we have, there's no stairs. Out here we have like a chill out area. If you've had a little bit too much dancing, maybe a little bit too much alcohol, maybe a little bit too much some other substances. Then we have a quiet area outside. Oh, look at this. Oh, lighting. Quiet area out the back where you can relax and calm down.
Thanks.
Also a juice bar. I hear the juice is really, really good. It's good juice. Okay, let's get back inside. So like a outdoor lounge sort of area. Not many people out here though. Back inside. Oh, the toilets are that way. So this goes... So this in between here, this is the central space behind this wall. The central, the boiler and turbine area. Around the outside we have the concrete hallway, and on this corner here we have toilets. The toilets are a bit of a health disaster, to be honest. So I mean, okay, it's literally a health hazard though. Like, okay, so you go to a club in a decommissioned power plant and you kind of expect the toilets to be gross. But there's a difference between gross and literal health hazard. Because you have diseases, man. Like, people are gonna get sick. Yeah, like, this is the sort of thing that would make you sick.
That's a little too close.
Yeah, alright, gross toilets. Okay, we could get out of here. Let's get out of here before we catch some diseases. What's going on there? So down this side we have a staff-only area. So the width of this hallway is more what I would expect for a hallway inside a power plant. Like this is functional. This just seems too wide. I mean, it's possible that there's machinery here, or there used to be machinery here. What's that? So if there is machinery here, what you would find is like bolt holes in the ground where the machinery is bolted down. Is that what this stuff is? Is that where they used to bolt down the machinery? Maybe. Maybe this used to be machinery. But if it's not, then why would the hallway be this wide, right? Alright, coming in here. This is just
Oh, yeah, hi.
corridor.
I called you the other day. Do you remember me? Oh,
we have a bit of a bridge here, but the walls have been covered up. And they put a ceiling in here. We can peek out a little bit. So there's the dance floor down there. And you can see actually that there's like a triple height space here, right? The roof of the structure is up there. And it's just open all the way down to the bottom. Some steel beams there to support the machinery. But you imagine like a big ass boiler burning the coal and turning water to steam inside that space there, right? Right. Okay, so this is the ground floor. The stairs go down. Oh hey, this is fun too, look at these. Whoa, rainbow staircase. Whoa, rainbow lights. Very cool. I like this lighting, like the floor level lighting. So this provides safety. You can see the stairs, but it's still super dark, like you can't see anybody's faces. So it provides safety, but it maintains the clubbing environment, the clubbing atmosphere of everything being super dark. Alright, here we are. So one floor down, we have this mezzanine sort of area. There's the main dance floor down there. And again, you can imagine like the two boilers in this space, right? Big, tall machinery. Where should we go? This guy's having a good time. Oh yeah, that's party. So over here, this space has been turned into, they call it the projection bar. So there's a projector up there projecting patterns on the wall. More alcohol. The music is louder here because we're next to the dance floor. Where should I go? Let's go back here. Behind the bar we have the booze, right? And then over here I believe we have more booze. Oh yeah, there you go. The alcohol for the bar. And then we have like backstage areas, I suppose. Right, so the main hall is in there. There's big pipes here, look at that. I suppose the big pipes might be the pipes bringing the steam to the turbines. But if we look down, they don't really join up to anything, they just kind of go into the ground. So I'm not sure what's going on with the pipes. But of course inside a power plant, you would have pipes taking steam from the boilers to the turbines. We have a bit of a bridge here, we can again check out the dance floor down there, and then big tall space up there. Very cool. Oh yeah, sick drop. So none of these spaces are used for the club. Where am I going? Is that another corridor? curious. Alright, back this way. A lot of nothing, and then a lot of nothing again. So all the corridors around the central area is not used by the club. Or not, not used for the clubbers. I guess there's like storage things back here. And they put those things up. Maybe it's sort of like a occasionally used base. I guess you could like set up a VIP room up here or something. Like imagine if you have like a special event or special guests. You do have more spaces to set up VIP areas if you want to. But for now, these spaces are not used. Let's continue going down again. So now down to the ground floor. Not the ground floor, but like second basement. Oh yeah, dance floor. There you go. Step back actually. Yeah, nightclub. So this is fun, right? I don't know if you can see clearly here. So in the middle, there's like a pit, and there's the main dance floor. The main dance floor is inside the pit, where everything is condensed, right? The action is condensed inside the pit. And then to the side, you have like a step up, and then you have these columns. The columns kind of provides a little bit of separation between the main dance floor and the side areas. So the side areas are a bit less intense, like less condensed, a bit more chill. And also, it's a great place to like spectate too. You can like stand up here and like watch the dancers down there, or if you want to, you can like pretend you're on stage. If you're good at dancing, you pretend you're on stage and perform for other people. So that's fun. So the separation of the space between like the upper area and the lower area, so like more intense, less intense. It's quite nice actually. It's quite nice when the space has enough differentiation to accommodate like different people and different preferences. Like maybe some people really love to be in the middle of the action, and then maybe some people are like more chill and want to just kind of stay to the side and watch things from the side. And you can just like just choose whatever you want. So I like this. As a power plant though, what happens is if there's any leaks, the leaks will collect in the pool at the bottom, right? You won't spill out. So that's partly the function of having like a lower area in the middle, because we have these are boilers, right? We have fluids, hot fluids cycling through, and so if there's any leaks, then they don't go anywhere else. What should we do? Let's just walk straight down here. Oh, the drum's coming. Oh, sick drum. Alright. This is yeah, very
I feel you are violating
very compelling.
personal space.
Oh yeah, the DJ's over there. So the DJ booth is over on the other side, and he sees pretty much everything, right? Yeah, no, he sees everything. Very cool. Ah, pulsating music. So up here, as I said before, less intense. In fact, there's seats down here. If you're a little tired, you can like sit down, relax. Or you can stand up here and watch people dance. Maybe put on a show yourself. Oh, very nice. I like it actually. I like it a lot. And I think the interesting part is how well the power station spaces actually fit the dance club. Like the idea that the industrial spaces actually work really well as a dance club by accident, right? Because nobody designed this as a dance club, they designed this as a power station. But like the big concrete hall and all the music. Very good. And the lighting too. Check out the lighting. Ah, very cool. here, right? I hope this is easy enough to see. It's very dark. It might be a little confusing. Alright, on this corner, away from the main hall, we have another bar! So this is the third bar, right? The basement bar is this. Surprisingly chill. So concrete, I don't know, like, do I need to explain acoustics? So, impedance. Sound impedance. So, the greater the contrast in like rigidity, the greater the impedance. So going from air, which is very easy to compress, to concrete, which is very difficult to compress, like the difference in the impedance means that a lot of the sound will reflect back. Whereas if you have two substances that are of similar, is it rigidity? Of similar elasticity? I forgot what the term is. But if they're equally squishy, then the sound will travel through to the other side. So like wood is less good at stopping sound. So because air and wood is more similar. Wood is actually hollow on the inside, so wood is mostly air on the inside anyway. So wood doesn't stop sound as well. The sound just travels through the wood to the other side because like the vibrations in the air will make the wood vibrate and then they'll just vibrate out the other side. And so the sound travels through. Whereas the concrete, it doesn't vibrate as easily, so the sound would reflect back inwards. So that's like acoustics and like the mass. I guess it's the mass. Was it the mass of the material? Because the more massive it is, the harder it is to move, right? So high mass materials, they reflect sounds, so they insulate a space from sound on the other side. So what I'm trying to say is, despite the fact that we are right next to the dance hall, the fact that we have concrete walls here means that it's not actually that loud in here, because the walls are concrete. Whereas if the walls were wood, for example, then the sound would just come straight through and it'll be super loud in here as well. Things to think about if you're designing acoustics in architecture. And also, like, for example, so like a practical application of this is if you're living in an apartment, if the walls are concrete, then you get more acoustic privacy, right? Whereas if the apartment, the walls are wood or just plasterboard, then it's very poor acoustic privacy, and you can hear next door all the time. So just some things to think about acoustically. Anyway, back to this. White sofas. White. So that's ambitious. You know what happens to white furniture in a public space like this, right? They get dirty very quickly, is what happens. So I'm a little bit dubious about the white furniture, because it'll get very dirty very quickly. Aside from that, cool bar. Okay, let's get behind these guys. Behind the bar, we're back into the staff areas. So the big pipes, right? I don't know where these big pipes go. They don't seem to go anywhere in the game. As I said earlier, in the real world, it would go to the turbines, and then the turbines would drive the generator, right? Oh, this is not staff area yet, because back here there's another toilet.
How are you, sir?
The main dance floor is back here, in case you're wondering. And then here we have the downstairs toilet. Oh, there's somebody cleaning this toilet actually. Nice. That's not a toilet. So this is less of a health disaster than the toilets upstairs. Thank goodness. What does that look like? Oh, this looks almost usable. Look at that. It looks like I might not catch a disease in here.
I know you've had some wild nights around. You've got to have something better.
Oh, look at that. It's not perpetually damp.
I guess it was the...
Alright, toilet, and then this is the storage area for the bar, right? Oh, look. Bananas And pineapples. Oh, wait a minute. They're preparing fruit? Alright, cool. I don't want to go back out the toilet. The toilet is still kind of gross. Okay, back this way. This is the staff area. It says tech only. So back here is gonna be... Oh, wait a minute. I don't need to look at this, right? No, it's just pipes. Not sure what the pipes do or where they go, although this does go sideways. Actually, does it go sideways? No. It just disappears into the wall and it doesn't join up on the other side. Okay. It's a fake pipe, it's not real. Okay, so back here we have audio-visual equipment, and this is the DJ booth, in fact. Here we are, the DJ booth. Ah, nice view, look at that. So the DJ doesn't just play music, right? The DJ kind of has to work the crowd as well. So it's important that they can see how the crowd is reacting to the music. I wonder if there's enough equipment. Because you need like a lot of speakers, right? I feel like there would be more electronics. Oh no, look at that. Oh, these are the speakers, look at that. Wires coming into there, into the DJ booth. 6 giant speakers there, and then... Alright, and then 6 there. I guess there's plenty of equipment. Alright, back out this way. Back behind everything.
Whatever.
We have this area here. So this, at the moment, is the club owner's office. We have a desk, a collection of stuff, and then we have like a bar and a little lounge area. A pole? I guess they get pole dancers sometimes. No pole dancers to be found in the game, but I think it's implied that there'll be pole dancers. So the bar is a retrofit, right? Yeah, no, the bar's a retrofit. Not too sure what the space would have been originally. Maybe just like a storage space. And more storage space back here. And then if we get out of the office, continuing around, we have staircases. Stairwell there. Here, this space has been turned into a security room. What's he watching? He's not watching the dance floor, he's watching the car park? Curious. And then out here, a bit of nothing space. Just pipes and nothing. And then we're back in the dance floor again. Alright, so that is the main building. So it goes down underground for 2 more levels. And basically it's a big open space in the middle where, as we said, the boilers are going to be. And then a series of corridors around the sides where the other equipment's going to be. And that's the power plant. For the club, the main dance floor is in the middle, and then there's like several bars and staff areas in the corridors. And that's it. Easy peasy. Alright, let's get out. Where am I going? There's still the secondary building, right? Let's go... back up to the chill out area, and then we'll move into the secondary building behind this one. Oh, wait a minute. No. Upstairs. We can get up onto the roof. Although there's really not that much to see on the roof. But just for the sake of completeness, let's go to the roof, take a look around. Here, there is a staircase here onto the roof. So there's like a lower area. Remember, there's the chill out area back there, bunch of containers down here. And the main building, unremarkable. Just like concrete. There is that there though. That part is not accessible in the game, and in fact from the inside we don't see that part. So I'm not sure what that is. Like if you know, like we saw the diagram for the power plant, so you imagine, oh maybe that's where the boiler is. But if you go inside, no, the boiler is in here. There's two boilers inside this space here. So it's not clear what that is. And I've never figured it out. Just so you know. I don't know what that is. Up the stairs, a bunch of pipes, but otherwise nothing here. Oh, this might be the... Is this for cooling? Maybe this is for cooling. If the cooling is being pumped in there, that would mean... So the cooling, this is the cooling here, right? And I guess if they're pulling water out of the river, it would join up to here. That means the turbines would be around back here? Maybe? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this actually entirely fits the power plant. They might have fudged it a bit. I mean, there's more pipes there. Yeah, so that part is... I don't know what that is. And then there's that bit there. Can we get down here? No, let me get down here. Look. So now we're in the ceiling space. Yeah, no, look, it just stops. This is just the ceiling. What's the higher bit behind there? Doesn't seem to make any sense. But if you look in here, you'll notice there's like steel beams across the space. I think I've said this already. The boilers would be supported by the steel beams across the space, so it just kind of hang there, right? Very cool. And back out. Yeah, no, these bits don't really fit into that space below. Not sure what's going on. So behind the back here, we do have a bridge there over to the secondary building. So I was speculating that you store the coal there and you would bring the coal across here to the boiler. But if that's the case, then this should be a conveyor belt. It should be a conveyor belt to like feed the coal across. It's not a conveyor belt in the game, it's just like a sky bridge. There's no conveyor thing at all here. Not sure what that means. Again, I don't know if they just didn't do it, if it's just an oversight, or if they're bringing the coal in some other way. No, I think they should be bringing. I think that should be a conveyor belt, and I think that should be the coal building. I can't be sure though. All right, back down this stairwell, and then back to the chill out area, and then we can go into the secondary building. This door, it's a bit confusing, there's a lot of nooks and crannies. Alright, now we're back at this bar. And then run over to the chill out area. Very cool. Coming back this way. Alright. So then the secondary building is this thing here. I don't know what it is. Like, it looks industrial, okay. But just looking at the outside, I can't tell what the function is. I can tell the function of that's like it's a smokestack, cooling tower. This looks like the shape of the main building of a coal-fired power plant. This thing, I don't know what this is. If you come in here, there are loading bays, right? And inside here, so there's a biker gang in here. I mean, there's one of their bikes. The biker gang has set up a temporary rooms in here. You see this plywood stuff? So the plywood stuff, they've built temporary partitions inside this building. Without the partitions, I mean this partition, this is wood as well. And they've got a toilet here, and then that wall is brick. Right? Okay, so if you think about this, if you imagine the brick is not there, so there's like a loading bay and then a big space. The roof is... Okay, the roof there is the temporary stuff. So there's like a big loading bay here, and they've put rooms inside the loading bay, right? As we said, toilet in there. Here they've set up like a break room or a recreation room for the bikers with a bar. Okay, very good. And then over on this side, a bit of a storage area and then a garage. So again, we have like a loading area. This is a concrete wall, so this is permanent. Garage area, fixing the bikes. Back here there's an incinerator. And there's a forklift. So they move some kind of cargo in here. Look at that. This guy's burning toys. And if we come over this way, so they have a drug packing operation here. Look at that. He's packing the drugs into the little... What are these things? Little packets?
Read my ass. I'm talking equity.
And this guy, I believe, is taking the drugs out of the toys. Remember back in the Center for Tuna level, they were packing cocaine into toys to smuggle them? So here, there's the same toys coming back out. So I think these are the recipients of the smuggled drugs. Oh, there you go, cocaine block. So these guys are packing the cocaine from the toys into the packages for sale. Over here, this is a truck. So that's a loading bay. The truck is parked right next to it, and we're accessing the truck from the side, right? You see that? More forklifts, more storage areas. And then here we have a cargo elevator, this thing. This is a cargo elevator. It goes up and down. Right, so what I thought, and what I continue to think, is that they bring coal through here, and they lift the coal up with the elevator, and then they feed it to the power plant out there. If it's not for coal, then I don't know what it would be for, because what goods do you need to bring into a power plant? You wouldn't. You wouldn't need to bring any goods into a power plant. So that's why I think it's coal. But if it's coal, they don't come in trucks like this though, do they? They come in hoppers? So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. On the second floor, right, we have this. So out here we have balconies. And again, I don't know what the balcony is for either. Why would you need a balcony here? What industrial purpose would the balcony serve? I don't know, I can't think of anything. Not sure why this space is here. They've got a security room in there, let's go inside. So back here, remember the cargo elevator? So that continues going up, so I imagine like you just bring the coal up the elevator, maybe, I guess? Here, the security room, it's plywood stuff again, right? So this plywood partition,
Yeah, hey.
the bikers have built this security room into the bigger space. And then behind it, here we have a grow house where they appear to be cultivating herbs. Cultivating homegrown spices. This is a cannabis grow house. How accurate is it? No, it's pretty accurate. No, it's definitely cannabis. Interesting that they're growing cannabis next to a club. I don't think cannabis is really like a club drug, because when you get high, you get really mellow and hungry. You don't really get amped up. Like when you go to an EDM club, you want to get amped up. I don't know. I don't mean, what would I know, right? I don't know anything about drugs. Why are you asking me? But maybe it's not for the EDM club specifically. Maybe it's just for general sale, right? So like having a drug plantation out in the countryside in the middle of a forest, that part makes sense. Having it next to a really popular club probably doesn't make sense, because you don't want a lot of people around. You want to keep this sort of thing hidden, right? So I'm not sure you would put it right next to a club, unless you have a lot of protection. And by protection I mean you have the cooperation of some members of law enforcement, by which I mean you've bribed people to keep quiet. Alright, so outside the grow house is a temporary structure built inside the space. This space is just a big double height space with nothing else in it except for the grow house. So just a big industrial space, not too sure what's happening inside. Let's get back out. Continuing along the building, we have a storage area, right? Another double height open space. And really no evidence of what used to be here when this thing was still a power plant. So I really can't read these spaces because they're just big open spaces. They could be anything. We do have an upstairs, although upstairs is mostly just walkways around the edges. Right? Again, we have construction materials. I guess they're building stuff here. Maybe they're gonna expand the grow house or something. Because if you look over here, you'll see that the grow house is only using half the space, or just less than half the space. So there's like a double height space here, and the grow house is only using that much. So there's enough space to like make another story or two above it to grow more stuff, right? If they want to. And maybe that's why there's construction materials. They're gonna expand. Moving around. And then we can go upstairs again. So here's the walkway again, joining the two buildings, right? And then going up, we have the roof. And there's really nothing remarkable about the roof. Although let me just look around a little bit. There's like power pylons and radio towers. I'm trying to see if there's any buildings in the distance. I guess there's more industrial stuff over there in the distance. The road goes that way. Oh, I see. So there's more industrial things there. And then is that Berlin in the distance? It might be, right? You can kind of see a city in the distance. If that's Berlin, and Berlin is basically to the south. Oh, let's take a look. So, Google Maps, Berlin is to the south. Oh, maybe we're like in these forests out here. There are some forests out here, right? Although there's a lot of towns around here. I don't think... Can we like a power station? How many power stations do we have? Huh. Heist craft work? No, that doesn't look like That's not the building we're looking at. Although there is a power station there. Solar PV services. No, I didn't think so. PK power? What's PK power? Solar photovoltaic plants. No, that's not what we're... Hides energy? Oh, wait a minute. What's this? Oh, that's interesting. It's not quite the same. Not quite the same, but this is a coal-fired power plant, right? Or maybe it's not. No, it could be something else. It could be like a... Are those wood chips? I'm not sure what those are. But you can see the fuel going up, and then there's like a boiler there. And a building there. Huh. No, I'm not sure if this is Anyway. Possibly we're somewhere to the north of Berlin. But we can't be sure. Alright, that's it. Let's go back down. So, I think... that is... We don't need to see any of this. Yeah, no, that's just the roof. That is the entire level. Alright, let's go back down to the ground and let's go find a nice place to do our summary. So we have a decommissioned power plant. It is a coal-fired power plant, right? And given that we're trying to reduce fossil fuel usage, coal-fired power plants getting decommissioned is not that unusual. How do I get out of here? Having an EDM club out like so far away from the city is a little unusual because you're asking people to travel a long way to go clubbing. But no, that's nice. Look at that. Let's go hang out in the chill out area. But you know, there have been Kraftwerk EDM clubs in Germany, especially the famous one in Munich. But as we saw in Berlin, there's also like an event space in old power stations. So this sort of thing is plausible. It's just that I don't know if the rural setting makes a lot of sense for an EDM club. Alright, so let's sum up. So this level clearly takes inspiration from the real-world Kraftwerk. They've put an EDM dance club inside a decommissioned power plant, as we saw. And the industrial aesthetic complements the industrial music, right? And the acoustics of the concrete structure enhances the booming music as well. It's not that evident in the game. Like, it's hard to simulate good acoustics in a video game. But if you ever manage to go to like one of these real-world spaces where there's a lot of stone or like a big concrete box and you just play bassy music in it, you know what I mean. I don't know if you ever find yourself in a situation like that, but like get a big subwoofer and just start playing bassy music inside a solid stone box or a solid concrete box, and you'll like really hear the reverberation. And so that sort of thing, I'm sure, makes for a great clubbing experience, right? And the thing about the power plant is, once you've removed the equipment, what you're left with actually is just big open spaces. We saw in the main building, it's just like a big open hall, and in fact in the real Kraftwerk buildings, it's also just like a big concrete hall. And just a big open space like that, it's easy to adapt to any different uses. Like you can adapt that space easily, so you can use it for a lot of different things. Which makes like these old decommissioned power plants quite versatile if you want to reuse them, right? Enough of the old power plant remains for us to kind of see how the pieces fit together, right? We have the Probably cold storage there, and then we have the main building, and then we have like boilers and generators and turbines, and then we have the smokestacks and the cooling towers back there. So you can see all the pieces. We can fit the pieces together into the old power plant. And then we can also see how the club, how the dance club fits into it, right? Obviously the main dance floor is the big hall in the middle, and then the surrounding corridors and service spaces. They're using those for bars and backstage areas. Makes a lot of sense. Everything fits together quite well. Overall, I think this is a well-researched and well-designed piece of architecture, right? I mean, they've done their research. They know how the real-world Kraftwerk made it work, and they've basically kind of done the same here inside the video game. So well-researched and well done. I appreciate it. It's good architecture, right? They've really they know what they're doing. Like, we can see how the thing functions as a power plant, and we can also see how it functions as a dance club, and everything works, everything fits together. The only unusual thing about this is the location, as I keep saying. The fact that we're in a forest and not in the city. I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a real hard time dragging clubbers out to a place like this. But that's the only dubious part of this. Alright, so let's get out of here. We need to eliminate 5 ICA agents. 5 ICA agents? How are you gonna find 5 ICA agents? I wonder. Oh, there they are.
Expertly done, 47. Expertly fucking Montgomery? Done. I need a report. Montgomery!
Alright, so I'm gonna run away from that explosion. In the next video, we are going to China! Yeah, we're going to Chongqing, China. Chongqing is an inland city. Today it's quite famous for being cyberpunk. It looks very cyberpunk, but it hasn't always been that way. Anyway, I'll explain more about Chongqing in the next video. I will see you there.